Welcome to the Pro Aging Podcast. I'm Steve Gurney, founder of the Positive Aging Community. We're excited that you can join us for our interactive discussions with pioneers and thought leaders on a wide variety of topics related to aging and longevity. We're able to bring these discussions to you along with copies of the Positive Aging Sourcebook thanks to the support of our Positive Aging Community Champions. Visit proaging.com to connect with them and find hundreds of other resources. Today we had a live and interactive discussion with Gabe Caldwell of Addio, and we learned about an innovative platform designed to help you gather the details of your life and bring them together in one plan that is simple, clear, and complete. Gabe walks us through a nice demo that you might find better to watch, but I think you can get the gist of it if you're audio only. Also, make sure to hit the special link in the show notes to get a 25% discount if you're interested in using Addio. So let's jump into an informative discussion with Gabe Caldwell. And then I'm gonna let our LinkedIn and YouTube people in. And I am really excited about today's discussion. I don't remember exactly how my paths crossed with the platform we're going to learn about today, but it was fortunate because even though I'm in the middle of this world of elder care and advanced care planning and estate planning and elder law, believe it or not, me and my wife have not updated our estate planning in probably 15 plus years. And so we were due to schedule an appointment with our attorney and get those documents updated. And then I stumbled into Addio and met Gabe, who you're going to meet here. And I was really impressed with this platform and the approach that they've come up with. And so I gave it a try. And Gabe, hats off to you on this platform. I'm excited to share this with our community and learn a little bit more about it. And I'm happy also to share my screen here in a moment. But before we and show y'all kind of how I got started doing this, but before we do that, Gabe, tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to being one of the co-founders of Addio.
Yeah, Steve, happy to be here. Hello, everyone. And I'll tell you, Steve, you're not the only one that puts off estate planning here. This is very easy to do, as it can be expensive, it can be painful, and there's lots of reasons that we'll get into here today. But there's definitely some downsides for not having this put together. And, you know, from a founding story, my grandfather passed away about 20 years ago and didn't have an estate plan put together. He was incapacitated, didn't have powers of attorney. He had 6 kids, lots of grandkids, and it ended up being a war between attorneys to get all of this put together. And it ultimately broke my family apart, and it was a very painful experience. A couple of years ago, I was going through doing my own estate plan and found that was a very old school process. It was very expensive. There was lots of meetings, there was poor communication, and there wasn't really a great solution on the market for this. And being a software technologist, my co-founders and I, we've been building software tools for over a decade for businesses around automation of documents and data intake. Really saw this as an opportunity for us to bring our skill to democratize this process, make it easier for people to create their estate plan from the convenience of their own home based off their state laws. And that's where we took the passion project, built this, and then have been serving families here on the market for just over 6 months.
I love it. So we're going to dive into this, and I know that you're going to be able to give us a really good demo, but I'm going to share with folks kind of what it looks like and kind of my sort of feedback on this. So let me share my screen again here. And what you can see is that here is this platform, and this is Steve's farewell plan, and my wife has one too. So both of us are doing it individually, but we're connected. And then it's got these great prompts here. So, you got your basic information on kind of telling about yourself and your family. And then it kind of moves through your state directives, your healthcare directives. And it's got these just very easy to understand questions that it prompts you for healthcare directives, finances, property, insurance, digital. Like, this is a great thing, is the logins and the different passwords that you've got to all of your digital accounts. And then there's the list of the people and your advocates, documents, and your final arrangements, which I really like. This prompted me with some questions about how I want to be remembered, how I want, to be memorialized. And it was great. And you can go back and refer to this as often as you like. I didn't do this in one step. Oh, you said, Antoinette, my screen was blank. Were you able to see that, Gabe?
I was able to see it on my side.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry, Antoinette. That might have been just on your end, I think. But Gabe's going to give a full Gabe's going to give a full demo here. But geez, okay. Okay, some people could see my screen, others couldn't. But that, folks, Gabe's going to give us a demo. But I'm just sort of sharing one user's experience. I thought it was well designed, good to use. And, Gabe, we might as well kind of like get this question out in the beginning, because my wife was concerned. My wife was like, really, we're going to do this without an attorney? And yeah, I have great relationships with elder law and estate planning attorneys. The long and the short of this is, if you've ever gone through estate planning, you sit in your attorney's office and they ask you all these questions. Okay, you don't have the ability to go find the emails and things of that nature. That's one of the things that I liked about this. And at completion, which I think we are going to do, it will spit out some documents, and my wife would be more comfortable is that when we get those final documents, that we have an attorney review it. Is that something that can be done on this platform, Gabe?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've built all of our templates in our product here based on all 50 state statutes. Now, we worked with attorneys to build all of these in place. So when it generates the documents, they are attorney created. But as far as having an attorney review anything that Addio would create, you're absolutely downloading these to your computer. You have to properly sign and execute them and witness them. And then if you wanted to have an attorney look over these for just making sure that everything's great, you're absolutely welcome to do that. And when we see some of our families do that, if they're bringing the document to an attorney there, the attorney's time is what you're paying for. That's where the expense is. So if they don't have to create the document and they're just spending an hour looking over it and saying, this is great, this is saving you quite a bit of money.
Honestly, as I was doing this and have gone through the estate planning process once in an attorney's office, I was like, wow, this is a real time saver. And now, not only, the attorney doesn't necessarily want to be sitting there asking you questions, which is why sometimes it's an office assistant that is doing that when you go for estate planning. This is a great question, and it speaks to the growing nature of our audience. Gabe, Linda lives in Canada. Have you covered Canada yet?
From a legal document generation standpoint, we haven't, Linda. So that part of our product is just one component, but that would be something in Canada you'd need to work with an attorney there. However, we'll take a look at the product further today. We address other things around end-of-life planning, like asset organization, username, passwords, digital accounts, funeral and final resting place wishes that an attorney is not going to be able to solve, which are all things that will come up here for your family members, and it's good to have in your plan.
Yeah, yeah. And that's, I think, one of the things that impressed me with it is that, yes, there's the whole legal documents, but just a different way of sort of going through this process and the ability to break it off in small segments, because this is not easy for any of us to do or think about, and get it done and then automatically have it activated. Okay, I'm excited. We're going to get to this demo, but let's answer Martha's question. How secure is your site if I'm going to be uploading all this sensitive information?
Great question. Yeah, the most important question, actually. And we have the highest level encryption of any software product for healthcare, financial, bank accounts, 256-bit encryption. So same level encryption as any hospital uses, same level encryption that any bank account uses as well. So it must be that standard with this type of sensitive information.
Great, great. Okay, well, Linda, let's see. Okay, I tell you what, let's put a pause on the questions here momentarily. Keep typing them in though. But Gabe, why don't you give us the demo, and I think that's going to answer some of these questions, and then we'll keep on diving into those.
Okay, yeah, happy to. Let me share my screen here. Can you see my screen okay here, Steve? Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully everybody else can too.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that was just me.
Yeah, let me know if they can't. I've just got a few slides here to walk through Addio, the problem, the solution, and then we'll get into the actual product here today. We've interviewed almost 1,000 different families across the world to really address what are the pain points around death, planning for it, and specifically focused on the United States here with the product. Some trends that we found is death is a very complex and taboo subject, and we don't talk about it. We don't want to be that wet blanket at the party. So we're not sharing all of these different learnings when we lose someone and there is pain. There's a lot of shame that's carried on with that. It's expensive and painful to plan for an end of life. We don't necessarily want to compete directly with an attorney, but this is an option. The average, a simple estate plan is about $2,500 across the United States, up and down depending on your city there. And that's very expensive. With our solution, this is going to be much more affordable. We'll talk about pricing. Family stress on lack of clarity of loved ones' wishes. So many stories here that are heartbreaking around not having powers of attorney on the medical, the financial side that lead to a bunch of strife, or just not knowing what your mom or dad wants there around funeral or final resting place. These soft decisions can be big burdens when family members have to argue about them and they carry a little shame. If they just knew what mom or dad wanted, they could carry that out. Wasted time locating assets. Whether you fall into probate or not, we can talk about that. Family has to manage an estate and has to locate assets. A lot of times they haven't had those conversations, and it can take 12, 18, 24 months to try to find all these things, call these people, wait on hold. Customer service is not what it used to be, and that can be not a fun experience. And then if you do fall into the probate section, that will be a lot of work. It is a second job. You will hire an attorney. It will be very expensive. They'll take about 3% of what's coming out of here, and it's not necessary if you plan accordingly. So we took all those problems back to our lab, as we do here, and we said, okay, how can we serve families and have a comprehensive solution that's not just a legal document, but addresses all the burdens that a family is going to come into to set them up for success. And we really boiled it down to three things that we'll see in the product. The planning section is a fully guided experience from any device: phone, tablet, computer. Log in, one question at a time. You can skip questions, you can come back later. We'll bookmark your place to get everything done for you. We create a full legal estate plan here in all 50 states that we've worked with attorneys to create. This includes 5 different documents, and we'll cover those. And then we also have expert advisors in all 50 states that we've vetted for our families. So if you do need an estate attorney, We have one local to you that we've taken the time to set up a partnership with to make sure there's flat fees, and they have a free 45-minute consultation for you to set up time and find one that fits. But also financial advisors, insurance advisors, caregiving experts. How are we going to take care of mom or dad, navigate Medicare, Medicaid? These folks can help our members. Secondly, is organization. This is around what the heck does mom or dad have? This is a big burden. We make it easy for you to list out your financial, your property, your insurance, as well as those pesky digital logins that are always changing all the time. And last but not least is accessibility. All of this lives safe and secure in the cloud. As I mentioned, top level encryption, the same as your bank account. So it's safe and secure. You have the ability to update this anytime. So instead of reaching out to an attorney to change because your relationship status changed, you move states, you can just log in, click a few buttons, print an entirely new estate plan. And you can also share this with your family. So you don't need that vault. You don't need a safety deposit box. This can store the important information. From a market perspective, there's 213 million US adults. Only about half have a will. So if you're on this call and you don't have something put together, no worries. There's a lot of people that don't. And that's because there's not an April 15th like taxes to get that done. So it's easy to push off and it's expensive. These are what we found in our research. Not enough time, too expensive. I don't think I have enough stuff and I don't know how. And we look to address that to make it really easy for families to do. Your options out here for doing this, we talked about an attorney can be expensive. There's other estate softwares that are more a la carte that don't offer a comprehensive solution like we do. So there's nothing quite on the market like what we offer. With that, we can take a look at the demo, but Steve, I can pause for a second if we have any questions.
Whoops. I got it. Yeah. Why don't I kind of run through some of these questions, because as you're doing the demo, you might spotlight some. So you don't need to necessarily answer them now. It's sort of unless you want to. So let's see. First question here. So does this cover all estate planning tools and cover the basis of the will, living revocable trust, irrevocable trust, special needs trust, healthcare proxy, power of attorney, etc.? Hope our question is not getting too far ahead of the presentation. Okay, so that's one question there. The other is, what is the legacy forever plan for your service and your company? Are your business plans organized so that the service can be here forever? But man, great. I tell you, this audience is awesome. And then thank you for your service and efforts of care. Yes, that's good. Okay. I have a trust. Do you help make changes? Okay. And then Maria says, are the advisories fiduciaries, and is there more than one in each state? And where we can answer this question right now. Where are you personally located?
Yeah, I'm personally located in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay. And then my friend Elias says, you help families organize and take the guesswork out of what each of our wishes are as we depart. Tremendous relief and help for families. I want to connect you with Elias. He has an interesting business called Second Act Financial. Man, we got a pile of questions here. Joan says, is it true that most places require paper versions of documents with stamped original versions from a notary? Let's see, Rosalind, I'm glad you said this. I'm going to drop this into chat. An executor that you might recommend in Northern Virginia. There might be somebody in the discussion today that could recommend one too. And what about documents that need notaries? How about we address that before we dive into this? What about documents that need notaries? And that's Joan and Valerie asked those questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the questions. These are fantastic. I'll kind of take a broad stroke over all of these, and I'll definitely address the notary question there as well. So our software is a fiduciary. We walk you through all of these processes and make sure all of this would be a good fit. From a legal document perspective, we generate 5 documents for a simple estate. That's a last will, a durable financial power of attorney, a durable medical power of attorney, a living will, and a HIP authorization. Most families, that'll set them up for success. We do not create trusts. So that's a great question that got asked there. All those special needs, revocable, irrevocable, we don't create those. We will educate you of what those are within the product. We have a whole section on trusts. And then we can connect you with an attorney in your state. Someone else asked a question of, do you have multiple? Yes, we have multiple different types of partners, and then multiple options of each type of partner, being an estate attorney in this example that we vetted, that you'd be able to set a free 45-minute consultation, learn more about those type of trusts. They'd be able to update them for you or create them from scratch. And then you'd be able to take that trust back and store it within Addio with details, so your family would be able to access it, see the critical information, because this would be where you would house all that information. And from a notary standpoint, not all documents, or it depends on the state on whether you require a notary. That's built into our software here. So we would generate your documents for your state, and then we'll output instructions for each one of your documents based off your state statutes on if you just need 2 witnesses, or if you need 2 witnesses and a notary, and there's a signing section for the document. You'd have to print that, however, and then go off and properly execute that yourself. We just generate it for you, give you the guidance, and then you'll have to go do that. And then once it's executed, you'd upload it back into Addio, being your family dashboard here.
Okay, hey, great coverage of a lot of those questions, but keep the questions coming, folks. But let's dive into the demo. Let's get a peek more than what was on my screen, because that was obviously wasn't the greatest demo this morning.
Yeah, pretty good, Steve, for just getting into the product there.
Yeah.
All right, let me share my screen here. Okay, so here's just a quick look at our website. We do have a 14-day free trial on our website. All you'll do is come to www.ouraddio.com, hit start for free. We don't ask for a credit card because it honestly annoys us. We shouldn't charge you if you forget to cancel. You'll have full 14 days, full access, see if this is a good value to you. If so, then you can pay at that time.
And I don't want to jump in there, but I definitely want people to know, and I'm putting it back in chat, that Gabe has offered us all a 25% discount, but you've got to use this special link that I'm dropping into chat that has a little code at the end. But you can still go in on that link, try it for free for 14 days. And down the road, if you end up deciding to pay, you'll get a 25% discount. Okay. So thanks for that, Gabe.
Absolutely. Once you get in and set up your trial, you're going to be brought to, actually, we can cover pricing. I forgot I had this up here. It's a question everybody's going to ask, is from a cost perspective. We have 3 different plans. There's an individual, a couple, and a family plus. If you're just creating a plan for yourself, then the individual plan would be a good fit for you. It's $49 a year. A couple would be $99 a year. So you get a partner, two estate plans effectively. And a family plus plan is our biggest value, which is an estate plan for your entire immediate family. This is on purpose. We put no cap on this. So this could be you buy one, this family plus, you and your partner. If you have 5 kids and their spouses, that's 10 people. They'd all have their own estate plans. And if they have grandkids, maybe having their first child that may want to set something up, they'd be able to do that as well. So all for one price, $199 a year. You could have 10, 15. I think our biggest account has about 17 different estate plans, all for $199. So big value there.
That's a great what a great gift. I could see that, grandparents could give to the entire family to kind of get everything tied together there. I love that.
Yeah, we launched just before Christmas last year and had a lot of people with that same idea. We need to button this up, but I also want to give it to my kids, and we just, as a family, all tie it together.
Yeah.
When we come into the product here, we're really going to get to know you. Everything's personalized. So you might be here for 2 reasons. One, you're creating your own plan, or maybe you might be creating it for a loved one that you might be sitting next to. You're able to do that as well. When we come through here, we're going to introduce the term farewell plan, which is an estate plan and beyond. An estate plan is just a legal document. but what you'll find is there's other things you need to plan for, and we help you do that. If you do have legal documents, I heard someone say they have a trust. That's perfectly fine. Just let us know that you have one. Click what you have. I have a trust. I have a will. I have an advance directive. We'll streamline your experience. We're not going to create those documents for you. We'll just prompt you to upload them here and store them effectively in your digital vault here. And if you've got nothing put together, just click I have nothing prepared, and then we'll walk you through the product here. And this works on all devices here. So it's mobile optimized. It's built for an iPad, a computer. You're able to do this any place. For those of you that watched the Jetsons growing up, my demo account's built for this futuristic family with husband, wife, and 2 children with our futuristic approach on estate planning here. As Steve showed earlier in his demo there on the left, this is really kind of the roadmap that we're going to walk you through to help put together your end of life plan. And on average, our families do this in about 90 minutes. So from the convenience of your own home. When we first come through here, we're going to be prompted one question at a time. So it's not overwhelming to you. You're going to answer some information about yourself, address, where important documents are located. Are you a veteran? This is going to streamline the rest of your experience. Then we'll learn a little bit about your family. Are you in a relationship? If you are, what's your partner's name? Do you have children? Yes or no? If you do have children, you're able to list those children here, and we'll ask you to list their birth dates. If they're below the age of 18, when we're setting up your will, we'll automatically ask you to establish guardianship. If your children are older than 18, then we'll be able to skip that part of the process. So very much systematizing this process for you. We have some qualification questions here to where someone may need a trust. If you have kids from a previous marriage and you're married, looking at an AB trust might be something that you should consider. Later in our product, we'll prompt you to do that with some options of attorneys that are local to you. Pets are part of the family, so we want to include them. You're able to list out some information regarding them as well. In the estate directive section here, we're going to help you generate a last will and testament. We're going to educate you on what a living trust is with some options of free consultations with attorneys. And then we'll also generate a durable power of attorney. Each one of these sections, we're going to provide some digestible guidance here. We don't assume that you know what a will is. So we're going to answer the what, the why, and then what happens if I don't have one questions. So you could be educated to make a good decision here. So what is a will? These are digestible, simple answers. Why should I create one? Taking care of my kids. And then what happens if I don't have a will? So at this point, you know what this is and that it's important, and we can move through this. Now, in this case, the Jetsons had children below the age of 18, at least in my example. So we do want to establish guardianship here. Now, one thing I want to point out is once we enter a contact within the experience of Addio, then we're not going to ever enter that information again. That can be overwhelming to keep typing in Jane Jetson, email address over and over. So once we enter it once, if we want to use Jane later in the process as the executor or power of attorney, she's going to show up as a contact here in this dropdown. I can just simply click that button and she'll be inputted there. So this is all built to save you time. Alternate guardians here are set up, as well as establishing a pet caretaker for your dog, cat, or other animal. We even allow you to leave some money for your animals as well, to make sure that they have the resources to be taken care of and determine the amount. Ultimately, we take all this data, and I'll show it in a minute, and we inject that into the legal document based on your state statutes. The gifting part of a will here, we help you, we have a guide, and it basically will educate you on what a specific gift is and what a residuary beneficiary is. Specific gift would be, I want to give someone my car or give someone my house. Residuary beneficiary is a kind of a bucket that catches everything else that you don't specifically name, and then you're able to give that to individuals based on a percentage. And we walk you through that, and everything is optional to you. So if you want to leave a specific gift, great, just say yes. If you don't, you can skip that section. We'll give you some examples. Black Toyota 4Runner, house located on 243 South Main Street. Just list the individual or charity here, a little description, and then we can add as many gifts as we want, and this will be injected into the legal document that we create. The last part here is saying, okay, anything we didn't name, where's everything else go? And this is the remainder of your estate. Some common options are just leaving everything to your spouse. So it's a simple radio button, makes it easy for you. If you have children, a lot of people want to split it evenly. So that's a pretty easy button there. If you want to do something custom, you have full control of that. Maybe you want to leave something to a friend or a neighbor or someone outside your family. You're going to be able to do that here. Now, as a fiduciary, we will call out some of the laws here. If you're married, you're going to have to leave a percentage to your spouse. You can't entirely cut them out. If you want to do something unique there because of your situation, we recommend talking to an attorney. You can click this button. We'll provide you options within your state, and it'll be a single click in our marketplace that I'll show you here in a minute to schedule time, and it's free for you. Down here is where you'll be able to customize who you want things to go to, list out full legal name, the relationship, and percentage out of 100% you want to go to that individual. And we'll take care of adding this into your legal doc. The last piece is who's going to be the executor of your will. We provide a guide here of this responsibility. This is an absolute big task, big responsibility. Who'd be a good fit, who wouldn't, to make sure you're educated to make a great selection here. And then also choose a backup. This can be an individual, it could be a trust company. In this example we see on the screen, there's lots of options for you. And then this is where the magic happens. So you'll be able to simply click this button here and we'll generate your will for you. This will immediately download this to your device, whether it's phone, tablet, computer. You can see this popping up here. And your will is done, voila. This first page will be instructions based on your state. So George Jetson, this example, lives in Florida. So he has 4 steps: review the will, make sure it looks good to you. And then you're going to print and sign it. These are the rules for the state of Florida. And then once you properly execute it, which is 2 witnesses and testator signature, upload it back to Addio. This is your digital vault. And then you can invite your family members to view all or portions of your account here, depending on your situation. Then I'll quickly scroll through this just to give you a taste, but this is the will. We've taken that data that you told us in the experience, and we've injected it here into the legal template, which is really what an attorney does for you if you work directly with them. So we list out your preliminary declarations, your family, your executor of your estate, being Jane, as well as your backup. The powers of your executor here are listed. Your specific gifts you talked about in the product will be injected here just like this. And then the disposition of your residue, which is the remainder of your estate, just a fancy legal term, will be based off what you told us here. So if it was to my spouse, that's what it would say. If it was evenly amongst my kids, or if it was custom, like we did in our example, it's all based on percentage. This is all listed here, very clean to take care of your wishes. If we establish guardianship, this is a section for that. We have a section for pets. You can see all that data is merged in there. And then our last page here is where we would sign this. So testator's signature and 2 witnesses is what's required for the state of Florida. You would take this and properly witness it, and then this would make this a legal document at this point. So that's a quick walkthrough of what the document looks like on that side, and hopefully gives you a good experience there. Now, someone asked a question earlier about, do we need original copies? We do need original copies of just one document, that being the will. Even attorneys will say, we don't know how long this is going to be around, but this is required today. So make sure you keep that someplace safe. Give your family a hint here. So if they have to go find that, if it's in a vault, if it's in a file drawer, if it's in the bottom of your freezer, we've heard some crazy stories. Just give them a hint where to find it. And if you did work with an attorney, put their name here so your family knows who to reach out to. If they have questions, this might be a good person to handle any estate issues that come up down the road. Living trust. This is an example of what we have here as a guide around trust. Again, we do not create them, but we do want to educate you of your options as a fiduciary. So what is a trust? What are the pros and cons of a trust versus a simple estate? And who can benefit from a trust? So you might read this and say, I have real estate in multiple states. I have family from a previous marriage. I have a business. These are all reasons you may want to consider a trust. And if you want to, then we can absolutely connect you with attorneys local to you for that free 45-minute consultation to see if this is something of interest. And then once you have a trust, if you already have one, someone on the call did, you're going to store that here. So you can say, yes, I have a trust, list out the name of the trust, who's the successor trustee, where can the original copy be stored, and then upload that here as well and which attorney you worked with. So your family would know where to find this information. Durable power of attorney. This can be created here. Again, a guide of what that is. I'm happy to answer questions there. We've already gathered all the information ahead of time, so we don't need to ask really anything else other than who you want that person to be, which is Trevor here. Who's your backup? And then you'll simply click print and sign, and we're going to generate this power of attorney right here on your device. You'll then get this power of attorney. You'll have instructions in the front end here. This does require notarization, so that says that here in step 2, and it has your other instructions. And then if we scroll down here, I won't go through this one in as much detail, but you get the gist. We've taken the data, we've injected it in here, and then you're able to properly sign this and make this into a legal document. When it comes to healthcare directives, this will be the living will and the medical power of attorney here. We come through this again, we're going to have a guide for you on deciding who should be that medical decision maker. You'll list that person as well as any backups that you want. And then these are checkbox options. What authority do you want your medical power of attorney to have? These are really important. Now, you can update these anytime in our product. After we generate this, if you change your mind, you can always come back in here, simply change this and generate an entirely new document here. The living will section really covers 3 different situations: incurable disease here, and these are in every single living will. So you're just having an easier way to checkbox these: one, all, or none of what your wishes are. Irreversible coma is our second, same options. Vegetative state is our third. And then we'll go through anything else you want to add. We want to make sure that you're able to communicate all your wishes, unlimited characters here, and we'll inject this into the legal document as well. We'll ask about pacemaker or ICDs. If you do, we'll ask if you do have them, we'll ask a few more questions. Your wishes around organ or tissue donor designation are listed here, as well as where you'd like to have those gifted or not gifted. Again, really easy checkboxes to get this done. And then you'll simply click print and sign. That will generate that medical power of attorney and that living will that you'll then go properly execute. The last document here is HIPAA authorization. We've seen a lot of families forget this. Although you've named a medical power of attorney, they don't have access to your medical records unless you sign this document. So we'll generate this for you. Again, state specific. You list out who you want to have access. It can be multiple people, and then click print and sign, and we'll generate that for you right here. Moving along here, the next section is really around, okay, when mom or dad pass away here, what were their assets? We fall into having to locate these. And we've talked to so many attorneys where they're like, what's the answer for this? Go wait by the mailbox. That's not a great solution. They know it. And we want to make that more streamlined here. So we have 4 different categories to list these out. Now, these aren't integrating to your bank account. You're not listing out how much money's in them. It's just letting your family know, I do have a bank account. It's at Chase, and you should go there to administer my estate. So you can see just the name of the bank, what type of account. We are prompting you to set up a beneficiary here, because this will allow you to avoid probate and pay taxes, which is really important. And we send automatic reminders to you to get this done so that you don't forget. And then any other financial account you can imagine is listed here. These are all optional. When you come through here, you can skip on things that don't matter and fill out the things that do matter to you. But everything down to brokerage accounts, crypto, college savings, even pension, if you have a business, all of these have different flows of information you can add in here, all in place. And then a catch-all here for other. Property, this is going to be anything real property. The big one's the house. So we'll ask you to list out what type of real estate, the address, do you own it or do you lease it? And then these are all optional fields. If you want to list out things like garage, alarm, Wi-Fi codes, do that. The keys behind the door in the backyard, don't break the window. All that can be listed here. within each one of these. And this can be everything from vehicles to safety deposit boxes, storage units, the coin collection, and everything in between. Insurance, another challenge for family members hunting these down. Sitting on hold, talking to customer service cannot be fun for anyone. So put out all the details here. Everything from life insurance to auto insurance to long-term care. This can save your family so much time just knowing where these things are and who they need to call. The most modern headache these days is usernames and passwords to our digital accounts. And we address this in two different ways. Your phones, computers, and devices have static passwords. So we can just list those here. And computer, what type, if you have multiple computers, and that unlock code. As I mentioned before, everything that's listed here is encrypted. Nothing's going to hack this. My team, we can't even access any of your accounts. This is all locked up for you, so safe and secure. And then you can choose what you share with your family here and when. Email addresses, you'll list username and password here on these. It's important to get these as well. And then any other digital accounts, whether it's Facebook, Netflix, brokerage logins, things like that. We actually leverage partnerships with what are called password managers. These sit on your browser of your devices and automatically will store your passwords for you. When Google says, hey, once a quarter, you need to change your password, we don't want to have to go write that down on a cue card or in a Word document. These tools will automatically store your password and update it for you. It's an amazing tool. We've been using it over a decade. Not a lot of people know about this, but this is how we solve it. We partner with some of the best password managers out there and even have free accounts and discounted accounts through our service here for our family. So absolute game changer on this that can solve that for your family. The people section here, this is who you want to give access to your account and what you want them to see. Communication around this can be a little tricky. It's tough conversations, but knowing everything's organized and you can control what they can and can't see can eliminate some headaches. For example here, I list Jane as an advocate. That's a term we use that means she has access to a portion of my account. I can determine if I want her to see everything when she logs into my account or only specific sections. So if I don't want her to see certain things, maybe I only want her to see basic info and my healthcare directives and maybe final arrangements. Whatever I have checked is what she'll be able to see. Everything else she will not have access to. And I just simply click save and that updates real time. If things change down the road and you want to give Jane more access, all you do is come in here. Maybe I want to give her access to everything. Now she'll be able to access everything when she logs in. So very important here on this. This is going to save someone from flying across the country, breaking into your house, getting into your safe when it's on their mobile device when they need it. The documents section, these are where your documents will live and be stored, whether we create them or an attorney creates them. Healthcare directives are stored here, and estate documents are stored here. The last section is all around final arrangements. What do you want for your funeral? What are your preference for final resting place? These are forgotten a lot, but these we worked with funeral directors, hospice centers, chaplains, social workers. These are some of the biggest things we found in our research that cause family the most strife, stress, and shame as far as we didn't do what mom or dad wanted, because siblings will not always agree on how they should celebrate. If you put your wishes down here, we know exactly what to carry out. So where do you want this to take place? Is there a religious, cultural affiliation? Have we had pre-arrangements paid for? Let's not pay for it twice. All the way down to music, a reading, and who's giving the eulogy. You can determine all this information to alleviate that burden on your kids having to figure that stuff out and argue about it. Final resting place, you've got two options, burial or cremation. Burial has some other questions that get asked. This is what cremation looks like. Are some decisions that'll come along. Container, where do we want to sprinkle cremains, and is it okay to split cremains? And the last part of our product ends on a really nice note around telling your story. How do you want to be remembered? These are simple questions that we ask to tell your story. Where did you live? What did you enjoy most? What are 3 words people would use to describe you? What are you most proud of? It's a really great reflection on your life to end this process on a high note, and also remind you that life is precious and you've lived an incredible life, and there's time to live something even more to change the story. And when we finish this story here, one of my favorite parts is we here at Addio want to celebrate with you. So we do that through the application by throwing a little bit of a confetti party here for you. You've done something great for yourself and for your family. So this is what it takes to walk through this. Like I said, it takes about 90 minutes on average. And the great thing here is when we have our family connected, like the Jetsons have here, we're able to jump into our different family accounts. So if I'm George and I'm logged in, and Elroy has given me access, listed me as an advocate, I can jump over into Elroy's account. Heaven forbid something happened to him. All of his information, his wishes are all listed here. I'd only be able to access what he's given me access to, which in this example, he's given me access to everything, but I'd be able to hop into all of my family's accounts and know that they're all in a central place and they're all taken care of. Steve, the last thing I would show everybody here is a question around our experts. We do have an expert marketplace that lists out experts in all 50 states here. Whether you're looking for a caregiving consultant, an end-of-life doula, estate attorney, grief counselor, we have partnered with firms across the United States. You're able to come here and see a listing about them. Let's jump into Evan Hammond. He's one of our partners here at South Carolina. You'll be able to see a listing around Evan, learn about his practice, see his experience here in place. We've asked some prompting questions for these professionals so you can get to know him. Then if you want to set up a time with Evan, then you can just simply fill out some information, click request consultation. This will send an email to Evan. It'll CC you, and Evan will be able to communicate with you directly to set up a free 45-minute consultation. So making it really easy for you to get the help that you want. And we've taken the time to make sure that all of these folks have the proper licenses, the qualifications, and the proper service level as an extension of our brand here at Addio.
Man, great demo there. And we've got a pile of questions that I think we can jump through. I know some of them might have been answered already, but let's dive into this. But okay, let me get back up here. Okay. All right, so we talked about what it covers, and so we've answered that. It doesn't cover everything, especially when you talk about trust, but it prompts you. It's going to be the first system to tell you that it doesn't cover this, or that there's something special in your state. Then let's see, what is the Legacy Forever plan for your service and your company? Yeah, okay, so I think there's a couple of questions on this. So somebody asked about the Legacy Forever. So for example, something happens to your company, what have you. But I think also, what would happen if I subscribe to your service, and for a year, I printed out my documents and then I stopped my subscription. Obviously, I get to keep those items that I printed out. They may need to be updated later, but give us a little glimpse of that.
Yeah, good question. So from a Legacy Forever, there's a couple things. One, our intention, our business is to be around forever, right? So you'll have access to your documents, you use our service. Things are going well thus far. So that will be around. If something, heaven forbid, would happen to our business, we will definitely have communications out to customers. There is a 0.0001% chance of that ever happening, but if it did, there would be proper communication, proper setup for our families to get what they need. All of that will be taken care of course. Another option we have on pricing, speaking of Legacy Forever, is we do have a one-time charge fee. Some of our families don't want to pay that annual fee, even though it's saving them tons of money. It's about 2% of the cost of an attorney. We do have a one-time fee charge. It's basically 5 years of the annual fee. So,
Okay.
And that's on our website there. You could sign up for that, and then you get access to the product forever for no additional cost. So that's another thing that we do have available there. And as
Okay.
far as your last question, Steve, around if you signed up for a year, you generated the documents, you downloaded it, you canceled it, you absolutely can do that. You can download those documents; those are yours, and you can take them. Why a lot of families don't do that is they see the need for the comprehensive end of life plan organized all in the same place, and they also know that an estate plan is a living, breathing document that will need to be updated over time. And if you reach out to an attorney, that could cost you easily $1,000 or more just for an update. Whereas with our service, you come in, click a few buttons, and generate an entirely new plan in less than a minute.
Yeah, and what I like is you didn't go into great detail there, but when you add people in, you add in their email and it asks you, would you like this person to be notified, and what sections are they available at? And I think that is one of the cool things about this platform is that we all have access to it. The people that you want to give access to it have access to it if they have questions. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure if Nancy is raising her hand by mistake, but I'm going to click the allow the talk button. And Nancy, you can open up your mic if you do have a question. But while you are doing that, I'm going to go to Marie's question. Are advisors fiduciaries, and is there more than one in each state? And I did look around the directory there. It seems to be growing. The other thing is we have providers that are probably on this call that fall into those categories. Can you give us a link so that they could apply to be part of your network?
Absolutely. Yeah. First, all of our advisors that we work with are fiduciaries there. We make sure they have the proper licenses. That's our job at Addio to make sure, and that's why we vet everyone that we list there. So from a consumer, if you're on this call, know that. As far as any folks on here that are interested in working with our product, we're always looking for great partners in all states to serve our families. They can just go to our website and there's a partners page there, and they can fill out a form on our site. There's an email address they can reach out to, or Steve, I can share my contact information here at the end, which is just gabe@ouraddio.com. Feel free to send me an email directly, and we can set up a time to chat.
Okay, great. Okay, now Rosalind was asking for an executor in Northern Virginia. And Rosalind, I would say email either me or Gabe, and hopefully we can, between our two connections, we can find, I'm assuming, a paid executor. We've had a lot of discussions on solo aging, and one of the categories of professionals that seem to be a pretty good executor, not everyone does this, but aging life care managers, because not only can they be your executor, they could also support your care plan if you have healthcare changes. So Rosalind, I'll make sure that I got Gabe and my email in chat there. And then Deb says, is there a one-time cost for this service or monthly cost? We talked about that. So let's say you could go $99 a year is one plan for yourself and a couple. And then if you wanted to pay one time, it would be basically $500, correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got the three different plans: individual $49 a year, couple $99 a year, and that family plus plan at $199. And the one-time fee is just take those numbers times 5. Those are on our website and the pricing page. You can toggle it back and forth between annual or one-time fee, so you can see those.
Okay. And I just glanced at this. Laura says, don't forget us. District of Columbia is not a state, but have you covered District of Columbia?
Laura, I'm so sorry. Yes, I didn't say that. We do have the District of Columbia taken care of, though, so you're in good hands.
And she's also asking a question about what about a directive for dementia, but I believe you can get in those documents, you could get specific about if I have dementia or cognitive impairment then, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, within our product, again, it's a simple estate as far as the legal documents are concerned there. So you would be able to add in specific notes there that you want within those documents. But if you have a unique situation, I definitely advise to talk to an attorney about that to make sure you've got your bases covered.
Yeah, and again, folks, I mean, what you can see is if you went into an attorney's office with all of these questions answered and these documentations that Addio creates, we're probably talking about editing and not recreating. So and has that been your experience, Gabe, when people have sort of chosen that path?
That is correct. Yeah. If you're paying an attorney for their time effectively there. So if you can do most of this work but you do have something unique you want to have added to it, you can deliver, say, hey, this is great. I want to add this item to this here. They can make a small change there on their hourly fee. That's still going to save you lots of money there.
Okay, and whoops. Okay. Let's see. A question. Do attorneys' consultations continue through the years for updates and changes to the documents as life, beneficiary names, and assets continue to change through the years? And I guess that once you pay your Addio, you can make those changes, but if you're consulting with an outside attorney, that would be an arrangement with that attorney, correct?
That is correct. We do have family guides within our product where you can chat back and forth. They are not attorneys. They are very educated in end of life here, but they are not attorneys there. So if you do want to work with an attorney, you would have to pay them directly for that time and that service where you have questions.
Okay, and let's see, Suman, I'm going to get to your Suman threw a prompt up there that she has a special needs question. So I am going to make sure that we find that. Oh, come on. This is.
I've got it here, Steve.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Do you address special needs, adult children, mentally ill? The answer on that, Sue, is no. That would be anything around special needs. Want to recommend that you speak with an attorney. A special needs trust is something that would most likely need to be generated there for your unique situation. So yeah, we would not cover that.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you for finding that. And some of this is repetition, but I found it's okay. So it's $99 a year only for the time you're using it, and when the estate plans are completed, you can terminate the subscription. Or is it $99 a year till you become deceased? And I guess we've answered that, but I'll just let you share that again.
Yeah, we've got the $99. If you pay the annual fee, it's a one-time, it's an annual fee. So you can cancel that at any point. We're not going to charge you forever. If you wanted to create the documents and cancel the next day, you're welcome to do that. But most of our families don't do that, of course, because they want the comprehensive plan in place. But you are in full control. You can cancel anytime.
Great. And Barbara says, if I have a will and all the documents already prepared by an attorney, do I benefit from your plan?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the legal documents is where a lot of people's heads will go, but that doesn't address the entire burden there of someone's death. The legal document is a very important component, but you also need to take into account of asset organization, because your family is going to need to find those assets when they get into estate administration. So organizing them will address that burden for your family. Also your wishes for funeral, final resting place, storage of the entire plan, and the ability to update this living, breathing document at your convenience and sharing that with your family. So even though you may have your documents created by an attorney, it's not addressing these other things that will come up that a lot of us just don't know about until we've been through the process.
Yeah, and okay. Let's see, someone asked, how do debts get listed and incorporated?
How do debts get listed and incorporated?
There may have been something in there in the financial area that had where you could add like your mortgages and things of that nature.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're adding in your credit cards. So I guess I guess that's how it would be incorporated is that if you filled out all that financial, you're going to have your LastPass or your credit cards, your bank accounts, and this, that, and the other. So you could list all of your liabilities and your assets in there, not necessarily the dollar value, but the accounts, correct?
That is correct. So in that example, after taking a second to think, that could be like a loan, right? If you have a loan or a mortgage or something like that out, a debt, a liability, that can be listed there. And we do have a section for those as well.
All right. And let's see. We have, oh, and I'm looking, oh, we've gone over an hour, but Gabe, are you cool hanging on and going through this pile? And then folks, if you need to jump off, remember, this is recorded. It'll be at proaging.com. And most important, use that link that I dropped in there for the 25% discount. Whether you decide to do this or not, it doesn't cost you anything for the first 14 days. So you can test drive the program. But then in the future, if you ended up buying, that $99 gets discounted to 25%, which is a pretty cool deal. Okay. Anonymous, this person says here, we have an estate plan from our lawyer. Your template is written in plain language and is great, but the copy we have from the lawyer is written in very lawyerly language. How many states have your documents been accepted in by the state?
Yeah, all 50 states. That's a big challenge around the estate documents is they get written a little bit in legalese that you read and you're like, what does this mean? And that can lead to some anxiety around, are we truly protected? So we've asked our attorneys to write these in as plain of English as we can to make sure that everyone understands, but is not missing anything from a protection from a legal perspective. So you'll see that in our documents are easier to read around the language.
And again, I mean, you've been very transparent with creating this platform. If you're not comfortable, have an attorney, folks, you spend $99, you have an attorney review it. If you trust that attorney and more than you do in the Addio platform, well, you answered a bunch of questions, you got through that, cancel your account and go pay your attorney. The key, I think, is choice that's out there. And the fact that you've had this approved is people should be able to sleep well at night. Okay. Martha says, if I want to update all my documents, would it normally make sense to, okay, Martha, you and I are in the same boat. I want to update all my documents. Would it make sense to start with scratch? That's what I decided to do when I test drove this. But Gabe, is there a way to use your platform with, documents that people may have some older documents?
Yeah, our software won't be able to update your pre-existing documents there. So if you want to go stick with those, then you need to reach out to an attorney and have them amend them to fit your new life. But if you do want to start from scratch, we absolutely can do that. And our documents, as well as anybody else's, will have a line item there that says this is now takes precedence and revokes all prior wills, codicils, and other documents. So it will take legal effective based on the date. So you'll be covered in that situation.
Great. Okay. And let's see. Catherine says, when are people listed able to access areas one wants them to know about during life or only at death? Man, again, a great question there, Catherine.
Yeah. So Catherine, you'd be able to go into the people section like we showed in the demo there and list people that you want to have access to either all or portions of your account while you're alive. And then you'll be able to amend those anytime just simply by choosing what you want to give them access to. You can take away their access. You have full control real time. Once you would pass away there, you'll have an executor listed in there that will also have access to your account, and they'll have to provide a death certificate. And at that point, the account gets locked, and then we'll be able to share the account there with the needed parties so they can get in and use what they need to go through your estate administration.
Great. And let's see, Shirley says, how do I indicate that I wish to donate my body to a local medical teaching center as a cadaver?
Yeah, that'll be in the living will section. So we go through donating your body parts, and you can add some notes there around any specifics that you want.
Okay. David asks, I find that most people need some external accountability to keep them on track and to address fluid changes throughout their life. Static documents need to be revisited as other financial plans. How is this managed? Well, David, I will tell you that one kind of cool thing, just with my limited experience with this platform, I started going through the process, but I didn't finish it. And it wasn't annoying, but I got some periodic reminders to jump back in and offers to help me if I needed help. In fact, there was you have like advisors, and I could actually go on and click like a Calendly link to talk one-on-one with one of your advisors to maybe give me some of that encouragement. But does that sort of communication go on through the life of your membership?
Yes, our team of family guides are available within the app to provide you chat support. We can also hop on calls to answer any questions, go through your account, and give you full support on that. There's also emails that are continuing to go out on a monthly basis, educating you of updates to state laws, new plans around end of life, resources, any new partnerships that we've set up with professionals within your area. You'll be up to speed on all of that. And then on top of that, semi-annually, we actually send you a survey. It has simple 4 questions. And it says, should you update your estate plan? And some of the common things are, my relationship status changed, I had a new child, I bought a new asset, I moved states. And if you answer yes to any of those, you'll be able to click a button. It'll take you directly into your product to that particular part that you said has changed. And you click one button to change or update that, and then you print an entirely new estate plan. So we're reminding you, you're paying for this, and we're making it really easy for you to just click a few buttons versus going and sitting in an attorney's office and paying $1,000.
Great. And let's see, Clara's got her hand raised, so I'm going to allow her to talk if she has a question. But while we're waiting to see that, somebody asks, are your financial advisors associated with investment companies? And these aren't your financial advisors. These are part of your network.
That is correct. These are not, they don't work for us directly. These are separate companies that you would work with that we've sourced, vetted, and approved to work with. So we're just connecting the dots to licensed, verified fiduciaries that have their own company there that you can choose to work with and set up time.
But they're familiar with your platform, and they've given a free consultation as a member, that you get a free consultation with them as well.
That is correct. Most of our partners use our product and offer it out to their customers that they work with as an option around estate planning.
Great. Okay, Clara, I think your mic is open.
Okay, my question was, if I purchase a couples plan forever, can I upgrade it to a family plus later and add my sons?
Clara, thank you so much for your question. And yes, you absolutely can. So if you paid the one-time forever fee for the couples plan, that'd be $500 basically. And years down the road, whether it's next year or 10 years down the road, if you want to upgrade that to include your boys, you just pay the difference at that point in time. So no problem.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Claire. Yeah. Okay, and then Claire has her hand raised. So Claire, if you are if that's not a mistake, open your mic up and oh, it was a mistake. Okay, so I can see that. Okay, so question here, can you print out the documents multiple times? And I guess that could create complications. You need to know how many people you distributed this to, but can you print these documents multiple times?
You absolutely can print these in multiple times. When we print the documents, it's not a legal document until it's properly signed, witnessed, and executed. When you sign, execute it properly, according to the guidance, your state statutes that we inform you about, then that will take precedence. So you can feel safe of like, I don't want to click print. This might change legally. It doesn't count until it's signed. So you can come back in, you can print it, you can think about it, but it's not official until it's signed.
Great. And then someone asked, does it cost money to join your partner network?
At the moment, there is no cost to join our partner network there. So we are searching for quality here and making sure that they meet our specifications to be an extension of the service that we provide here.
Great. Okay. All right. Looks like a long question here. So after resurrection, rebirth, and death and farewell, do family members settling the estate, do they have to find attorney advisors to guide estate settlement steps and process, even if administration of the estate includes probate, or are your consulting attorneys available to continue attorney services, or does this need to and have to be negotiated? Question feels confusing. Hope I didn't lose you during the process of asking the question.
No, really good question there. When something would come to place that someone would pass away and there's an estate plan and a family needs help around estate administration or probate or any of that, the attorneys that we have partnered with, they are full service attorneys. So they can help with the creation of documents. They can help you with estate administration. They can help you with estate sales. They can also help you with estate litigation, or it's a full service shop. We made sure of that on the ones that we have chosen to work with. So if you do create a relationship, they can be your attorney through all of this, but you will have to pay them for their services.
Great. And then I see there's a few questions about how long is that discount going to be available? And I think it was related to the fact that if I sign up and subscribe today for 25% off, is that just for the first year, or would that be through the life of your subscription?
Good question. Lifetime discount there. So you sign up today as a community member here. Yeah, our gift to you is a 25% discount lifetime.
Oh, thanks for doing that. And let's see. So please explain and make it clear as an example, the $99 per year, these are annual fees. Yes, that is correct.
That's correct.
Again, if you want to do a one-time fee, it's 5 times whatever plan you choose. And then if you use that link, it's 25% off that. But the thing that I want to reiterate to everybody is you can go on the site and just play around with it for 14 days and you don't have to pay anything. But make sure that when you go on to play around with it, use that code, because if you decide to pay at a later date, you're going to get the 25% discount. Let's see. Comment, very transparent. Thank you for your hard work and effort. This is a gift to individuals and many people who are continually changing lives. Thank you so much. So did you say we have all estate planning documents? Okay, if we have all estate planning documents, we have to start over from scratch. If present documents in hand need to be changed and updated, yes. Like, you can't update existing documents on this platform. However, one thing that I would recommend is that if you do need to update your documents and you're thinking about using this platform, go get those documents and refer to them as you're going through the questions that Gabe's platform is asking. Let's see, Steve, you did say that you and your wife started over from scratch. Yeah. And I would say, as I'm trying this out, just like you all might be trying this out, I met Gabe. I realized that I needed to update my documents, so I'm giving it a shot. And if my wife is like, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing this, then we might consult with an attorney. But we've both been really impressed. We sat down in front of the computer together and started filling this out. My gut level feeling is she wants me to have an attorney review the documents when we're done, and we'll see where we go from there. Oh, somebody says, where is the forever plan info? I don't see it on the website.
Yeah, if you go to the website and you go scroll down to the pricing section, you'll see a toggle. I can share my screen if we want to. So just go to our website, which is www.ouraddio.com. Scroll down here to the pricing section. You'll see annual. Will be automatically on this. You'll just switch this to one time, and that will show you the one-time fee, which again is 5 times what the annual fee is. So one-time payment, full access, and you'll just sign up for any of these plans.
And then Barbara's saying, what is the promo code? I went to the site and asked me to pay if I wanted to activate and ask for a promo code. But Barbara, I'm dropping in that link again. The link has a couple of characters at the end of it that I guess will automatically create a discount when you're in checkout.
That is correct. And Steve, if any of your community members here sign up and they didn't use the link, just let me know, and we'll be happy to take care of everybody and make sure they get that discount.
Okay, great. Deb says, I'm married and part of a blended family. Is there a specific plan you recommend for me and my family?
Yeah, when we get into blended families and children from a previous marriage, these could be complex situations where a trust is really a good fit. So I definitely recommend coming through our product. If you don't have an attorney that you've worked with before and would like a recommendation, take us up on a free 45-minute consultation with one of our attorneys in your state. They can educate you a little bit more about what your options are, and then you can choose which one that you like to work with. But blended family situations, children from a previous marriage, these are really good situations to think about a trust.
Okay. Well, Gabe, you are reaching hero status here, because this is basically one of the longest discussions that we've had, but the questions were amazing. And and I'm just glancing through the chat, and I feel like we've addressed most of them, but I've got your contact information, and I am going to have that on the recording there. So folks, and some people said they want to share this recording. Absolutely. It's one of the main reasons we do these things. We will definitely have that up probably within the next hour. And I really thank you for your time and creating something pretty innovative. You know, I've certainly enjoyed playing around with it, and I can see its merits, but it's scary, folks. I mean, anytime there's an established business model that's out there and you're creating something that is disruptive, usually a disruptive product is something that it's like, how can this be so easy? You know, like, and I feel like Addio sort of falls into that category, that it's making this process a easier and more manageable for families and individuals.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Steve. It's definitely been a labor of love here. We've got all have our testimonies, my co-founders and I, of dealing with this and the ramifications that we just don't talk about until we get into a bad situation. So we really want to serve families, starting here in the United States and then globally. I know we had someone here from Canada. This is something we're looking into to extend that even further. So would love all of you to try this out. Let us serve you, give you good guidance as a fiduciary here. If this is a great fit, we'd love to have you part of the Addio family. Yeah, and we'll close on this one. Elizabeth, I totally agree. She says, thanks so much for your presentation. I love the Jetsons reference. Yeah, I think George would be impressed if he could do his estate planning this way, even though they had all their fancy stuff. But I thought that was a really clever way to run us through that demo, and it was very easy to understand because we all know the kids and the parent, and what the dog is. The dog Elmo or Jethro? Astro. Okay, yeah. All right, folks, have a great day. Gabe, thanks a lot, and we'll look forward to seeing y'all at a future discussion.